David Landis. I'm organizing the event with the Endless Mountains Heritage Region, and we have Kane Chamberlain also, who's currently sitting right near the race start, I believe.
Yeah, High
Um,
Knob. We're out in High Knob in Sullivan County, Donna's
yeah,
neck of the woods. So, yep.
yeah.
Kane Chamberlain. I'm director of the Endless Mountains Heritage Region. We, with our local regional DMOs, tourism agencies, and the help of Donna, a former board member of the EMHR and former Sullivan County Commissioner, avid cyclist, we started working on the Endless Mountains gravel bikepacking loop through our four counties back in, what was it, Donna, 2020, 2021? And then we officially launched it in July of 2022. We did a soft launch, and this will be our first major event, this race and tour of the loop coming up here next week. Hard to believe it's already here. So
Hmm.
we brought Dave on as a consultant. So gosh, how long's it been now, Dave?
Oh, a year and a half.
Yeah, it's about a year and a half now. So
Yeah.
Dave's been working on and off with us. We're hopefully going to be working together again next year, putting some smaller series of loops within the major EMGBL loop, and creating more friendly for novice riders, families, things like that. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's so much great riding in this part of the state. So endless gravel. So we should just call it endless gravel,
Yeah, right.
endless. We have also from the area, Donna. Do you want to say anything, Donna?
No,
Or
I just
no?
think you guys are going to really enjoy. I've ridden some of the part in my county the last week or so, and the roads they're gravelly. They just put a lot of them have new stone on them that I've ridden.
Okay,
Okay.
that's helpful to know. And I believe this whole thing was Donna's idea at the
Yeah,
beginning.
Donna
Is
was
that right?
she came to us with the idea and started working with us on it. Yeah, she was the tip of the spear for this project for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely grown from what I think is going to be awesome. I'm so excited to have people come here and explore the endless mountains because I think you're going to love it. I think I just rode bike cross country, and we live in a beautiful area.
We
So I
sure
think
do.
you guys are going to enjoy it if you've never been here.
Yep. Like so, if you get angry at someone during the event, usually people get angry at me, but you can also get angry at all
You
of
can
us
get
who
it,
are
yeah.
part of this.
Yeah, when you're climbing some of these hills, you might be bitching a little, that's for sure. I do.
I'll get mad at Dave. I've taken a lot of it. And Eric, I don't know if you're able to talk or not, but Eric also lives on the route in Canton. Been a big part of this. Do you want to say anything, Eric, or anything?
Yeah,
Words of
no,
wisdom?
I um I love the roads up here and happy to share them. And when you are going up and down some of the bigger mountains on the west side, those were my idea, not Dave's, so you can blame me.
Yeah, yeah. Eric
Nice.
was a pretty big part in drafting our route for the Bradford County section of this four county loop. So it was great to have Donna and Eric on board because they're such avid cyclists and know where the best gravel riding is for this mixed surface route we wanted to put together. So it was a huge help. Um, at the EMHR, we're obviously committed to historic preservation and outdoor recreation development in the four counties. So this was a great way to, do a multi-county, several hundred-mile bikepacking loop that connected people to our historic downtowns, all of our heritage assets, our scenic overlooks, our different outdoor rec sites like the DNA Trail out in Susquehanna County, which you'll all see. So yeah, it was just a great way to bring it all together.
Mhm. Yeah, and this has been a really interesting route for me to be connected with because often it's one person's idea and they kind of draw and spearhead it. This was really a community project, like to have four different counties, different pieces came from different people, and then others came and tried it and tested it to make it flow and fit together. And it's really quite a spectacular and a beautiful route. So thanks, yeah, to all of you who are a part of it. Um, People are still coming in a bit. I'm gonna just give a few updates about some stuff that wasn't sent out by email. Um, and just a reminder, like this is a self-supported race. You ride at your own risk and responsibility. If you've done these kind of events before, you know you should be prepared to kind of be out there on your own and able to figure out what you need to. So just to put that out at the beginning. There are a few extra bonus services available to cyclists that aren't permanent on the route. They're just for this event. And some of these have made their way to the Ride with GPS and resupply. I think all of them have actually, but there are a 3 or 4 places you can primitive camp for free along the route. One, Grovedale Winery, which is near Towanda, right?
Wailusing. Yeah,
Wailusing,
Wailusing.
sorry. Armenia Mountain, which is before Canton, and Uniondale near Cable Store, right where the rail trail starts.
Yep.
They're allowed, and that is a great place to get food as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple places yet to be announced or discovered where there will be some trail magic that is available to anyone who encounters it. So generally with these kind of events, trail magic cannot be solicited. Like you can't beg for food from someone, but if someone offers it to you and offers it freely to anyone at that time, that's generally permitted, and it is for this. So we have of the 30 some people and track leaders, I think only 7 said they were touring, which is kind of interesting. So most people are in it to race the course, to race, challenge themselves, which is great. We have Matt Roy is listening on his bike commute home. Couple other things during the event. I'm going to be not riding. I'm going to be kind of roaming around and getting some content and media for the Instagram, and we're going to really try to tell the story of what's happening, kind of like a media crew, which would be pretty cool, I think, for people to follow. So be sure to follow Endless Mountains Bikepacking on Instagram. I'll send that out again too. And also the track leaders public tracking map is something you want to share with family and friends. That's where everyone can see where the riders' dots are, and their locations will be set by a satellite tracker. So we're trying to highlight riders and their rigs and their plan a little bit on Instagram too, with the post each day. So people have been filling out a form. If you don't have that and are interested to participate, let me know, and I'll send out that link as well with the next email. Couple other just reminders. Do not camp in the state game lands.
Yeah,
And
that's ruled across
property.
the state, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of private property, so we're trying to open up some bike-friendly businesses who are welcoming people for more camping options. There are a number of guest houses and hotels too, and campgrounds along the route. And that spreadsheet we sent out has everything that we've been able to find along the route. So make sure you study. I'm going to send that out again in a final email. There are a few small tweaks to the route near the beginning, so it affects both routes, just very small reroutes, but I'll send that out this week. And then track leaders map will be updated with that too. If you're getting a rental tracker, they do not come with batteries. So there's instructions in the rider packet on what you need. So if you have any questions about rental trackers, just let me know too. But those are kind of the main things I wanted to quickly just catch people up to speed on. But I'm curious what questions the people on the call bring. If you have any, maybe you came to listen in, but this is your chance to put questions out. Either feel free to speak up or drop them in the chat or whatever it is.
David, yeah. What tire size?
What's that?
What tire size?
What tire size? Depends on you a little bit.
It is a multi-surface route, so yeah. What do you think?
I think I had recommended 38 to 48. So like Donna said, a bunch of gravel was just dropped in some sections, and that's kind of the variable. If the gravel gets packed in, you get by with less. I don't think you need a 2-inch tire unless you really want to be sitting comfortable. But I rode it on 43s last summer, and that was fine, tubeless. Kind of depends how under over biked you want to be based on your comfort.
So there aren't any like really rough sections like that.
Sorry, I couldn't catch that.
There aren't any really rough sections.
Again, it kind of varies on maintenance and time of year. The roughest section I remember was near the high point of the rail trail. There's a really washed out rocky stretch for a couple miles.
So the Rail Trail Council, it was hit on the DNH a few weeks ago now from a vicious rainstorm we got here across the region. It did wash out a couple of sections of the trail. They have since put out some cones to, delineate where riders and hikers and things like that should go. So that should not be too much of an issue. You may have to kind of walk your bike in a couple of spots, but it isn't anything that's, detrimental to the course. You should be able to get through there pretty easily. Yeah.
So I saw, Justin here on the chat said that 35 is as big as he can go. Justin, just to speak to that for you, I have ridden, at least a third of these roads, if not a little more, on 35 Gravel King SKs. And you're fine with that. Sometimes you might get a little sketch on the downhill and have to wash, where a 45 or something will coast over that. You're gonna hammer it a little bit. But I mean, it's a 35 with a little bit of grip to it is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
my conservative guideline. You could probably tear through it on 32s if the gravel's in pretty good shape and you get lucky. But it's two-thirds unpaved and a third paved. And there are maybe a few short stretches of road that are a little bit less used and rugged, but most of it's pretty good and cars are driving it pretty
Yeah,
regularly.
I wouldn't recommend a 32. That's what I ride on my road bike, and not for some of the roads right now. They're rough in some of the spots, so I definitely would go bigger than the 32.
Yeah.
There's your local advice right there. Yeah. Other questions? No.
Come on, there's got to be more questions than this. We couldn't have done that
Hey,
great of a job.
sorry, I couldn't find my mute button.
Okay.
I had two things quick. One, thank you guys for putting this together.
Absolutely.
I live down in Southeast PA now, but I grew up in Wyoming and Laceyville,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's super exciting to see like routes like this popping up and like other events like Lulaca and all. So thank you guys so much for putting this together up there. It's I've been waiting for months now to get up and ride it. So finding out about this event is super cool.
Awesome.
Um,
Very cool.
the one question I have is along the route. Have you guys noticed places to access water? Like, are there streams and plenty of places like that along the route in between towns?
Yes, absolutely. Any of the towns you go into, there's going to be plenty of spots. I know you being from here, you'll know there's dandy mini marts everywhere, things like that. So if you want to resupply, we tried to put as many as we could along the route in terms of convenience stores and things like that. And a lot of these roads, yes, do go along creeks and the Susquehanna River. So, if you do have your life straws or your water filtration with you, there are definitely going to be plenty of opportunities to do that. I would say be careful. You will probably pass on the back roads a lot of ponds and lakes. Make sure that it is cool for you to do that. They are many privately owned, so you do want to be careful about going on private property. But in terms of places to get water and resupply, there are quite a few. If you look at the Ride with GPS maps, there's a ton of points of interest along the route. So you shouldn't have too long of stretches where you don't come across some place where you can restock with water.
Yeah, Eric, there's a lot of creeks along, especially in Sullivan County, along the route.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, just be leery of which ones are, private property and which
Sure.
are public. Yep. But
Yeah.
other than that, you should be good to go.
All right. And I'd been watching looking for the weather the last couple weeks. You guys still seeing fairly good conditions?
Actually, right before we hopped on here, David was looking at the extended forecast. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. Obviously, weather changes with the meteorology reports, but as it looks right now, and we've had a really nice stretch of great weather here the last couple weeks, so very little rain. So
Yeah, what I saw was a high of 80 and a low of about 50 and partly cloudy, no rain. for like the
Oh,
first 5 days. That's what I saw right
awesome.
now.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Definitely
hope
pack
so.
your rain gear just in case, but
Yeah.
the way it looks now, we're going to be in good shape. And obviously take a look at the weather, late next week before it gets underway. But yeah.
For those of you from the region, are the streams flowing well right now? Has it been rainy or is it dry or what's this current water
Uh,
level?
Last I was out, the river right now is a little low. Like I said, we had that big major series of rainstorms a couple weeks ago, maybe three at this point. But the river has come down since then. The Loyalsock Creek out in Sullivan County was starting to get a little low. Last I was out there hiking, that was last weekend. But still should be plenty of water resources around.
Was that your question, Derek, or did you have one more?
I mean, that's everything I can think of right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Where in southeastern PA are you now, Eric? Remind me.
I'm in a town called Trapp.
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
right outside of Philadelphia, near Valley Forge, King of Prussia.
Yeah.
area.
Gotcha.
I grew up in Harleysville for a
Oh
while.
yeah, yeah, it's
Through
right
high
there.
school. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
What other questions do we have? Anybody? Ask them for the people who aren't here.
Well, my understanding is if we actually want to do these race things, we need to keep going. And so, is there? I think I saw like a lot of those would you say Danny mini marts or Danny whatever they're called?
D&D
Are they
mini
open?
marts is what
Yeah,
there's
Dan.
several of those. Out on the western side of the loop, you're going to find a lot of the pump and pantries and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
All
there's
right.
there's quite a few convenience stores in our region. Yeah.
Is there anything that stays open 24/7 or do they all close at some time?
Some of them are 24-hour, not all. You may have to look into that.
I know in Sullivan County, in Dew Shore that there's a 24-hour pump and pantry, I think it is.
Mhm.
So there's access there, but that will definitely be difficult. And I think in the rest of Sullivan County is 24-hour. I know Dew Shore does have one.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
they
most
wouldn't probably for places
mo-
to be closed at a late evening or something like that.
Out on the Susquehanna County side, and I would say Bradford County as well. Probably Wyoming County is where you'll find most of your 24-hour places. There's a couple of truck stops along the route that I'm aware of, so they're typically 24 hours. Um,
Yeah.
I would definitely say when you're getting into the evening hours of your trip, I would definitely stop and get plenty of water to get you through the night because there may be some spots where, yeah, it's going to be tough to find a place that's open 24 hours. So I would say before nightfall each day, probably want to restock your water supply.
Yeah. I was going to add in that spreadsheet we sent out, we did our best to put the hours we could confirm for each place.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through that and try to line it up with your plan A,
Yeah.
B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to send that out in the print friendly format, PDF as well. Those things are a pain to print. So I'll work at that before I get my next email out. And that in Dusha, I believe there's a subway that's in that 24-hour
Yes. Yeah.
place that
Mm-hmm.
someone called
Yep.
today and said is open 24 hours. The subway is open 24 hours. So
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
just to add that in. And if anyone is, I would recommend looking. Some of these places aren't open every day and the hours are short. So just because you see, oh, there's a food symbol on the map, don't assume it's going to be open on the day or the time you're there.
Mm-hmm.
These were made for anyone at any time to reference, but definitely that's part of the self-supported thing. We give you as much as we can, but then you have to also double check and triple check as well. And we can't take full responsibility for things that change as well.
Yeah, if
So.
you guys have been taking a look at the, EMGBL web landing pages on our websites and things like that, we do have a bike-friendly business program. We've really been trying to kickstart that and get a lot more businesses and organizations signed up on that. We figured an event like this would help raise awareness about it. We do have a fair amount of businesses on there already, but not nearly as many as we want along the route. So we're hoping an event like this will really, get that going. We've been reaching out to our chambers of commerce across the region and things like that, just to make businesses aware that this is available. And we have had more come in. So hopefully we can make our region as bike friendly as possible. If you see those, they are, you could, like I said, you can go on our website and take a look at the ones that are there and, compare them with the map so you know where they are. And they always offer free water bottle refill, free device charging, this, that, and the other. So Wi-Fi and things like that. So keep an eye out for those for sure.
Do they have the logos up yet on the
They
walls?
should. They should
Okay.
at this point.
Awesome.
We
So
are,
look the logo.
yeah, yeah. We do have little decal stickers that they put in their windows. Yeah.
Good. Great. Two questions that came in on Instagram. One was, is there an FKT, fastest known time, for the route? And as far as I know, there is not a fastest known time. And people have ridden the route, but I think whoever gets the fastest times on this event will have the first
record. Yeah, you'll have the record for sure
for the categories and the different lengths. And the rules that we've adopted are in the rider packet that was sent out. If for some reason you didn't get that, please do email us right away. Basically, Tour Divide rules, but a little more friendly, I guess, relaxed. Someone did ask, like the Colorado Trail, if you jump in a car because you have an emergency, is there slowest known time? Not known.
Yep. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
There was a question that came in. If something happens like to my bike and I need to get a ride off the route, will I be disqualified if I jump in a car and come back? And you will not be disqualified as long as you come back to the same place. So Colorado Trail, you would be disqualified, but Tour Divide, not. So we're going with the please, get your bike fixed and come back and keep riding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you'll lose some time with that regardless. So don't need to disqualify you in my mind. Slowest known time, yeah, that one's up for grabs too. So
hey, Matt Roy here, pausing on the commute.
Oh, he's already riding. Look at him.
Yeah. It's SKT coming your way. It's bear hunting season in Vermont right now, so you're wearing a lot of orange. What's hunting season in PA?
Hunting season in PA won't be really getting underway until October, so you guys are
okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, the earliest thing is archery, and yeah, I don't think you guys would have to worry about that. They won't be shooting arrows across the roads or anything, so you should be good. So
sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Question. And there's a game. Sorry, go ahead.
On the most of these stores are aware of this event. Is there anything we can do to help spread that goodwill? And is there anything we can do to share the joy of the route you put together?
Guaranteed. I mean, when David rode this route, just testing it for us, I remember, him going through a lot of the different towns and stopping in places, and he'd get a lot of those questions, oh, what are you doing? And he, people are very interested in this sort of thing.
Great.
So yeah, I mean, we do pride ourselves on being a pretty friendly area. People will get curious though, especially if they see a bunch of, cyclists coming through, and I'm sure you'll get that question. So yeah, please tell them about it. Just say, hey, I'm on the Endless Mountains 430 challenge on the Endless Mountains gravel bikepacking loop, and show them a thing or two about it, and hopefully that'll help spread the word as well.
Great.
We are a pretty widespread region geographically. 2,850 square miles is our region that we cover. So, it is hard to reach, especially being such a rural area. A lot of people don't hear about this type of stuff. So, if you guys want to spread the word and people chat you up, feel free.
All right.
Are we doing a press release to the local papers? Did you do something like that just to let?
So, we did have something put out. I'm pretty sure Rick was working on it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so we're doing sort of outreach to the communities. We're going to try to use the social networks of all the counties and their tourism to tell them. But please do share the track leaders map with people you meet along the route, with your friends. Like, that's what's cool. You meet someone in some little cafe and you're like, what are you doing? And then you can say, oh, you can follow all of our dots on this map. And they get really into it and kind of um, or become dot watchers on their own too. But share that and share the Instagram. I think that's what will help really spread it. Like if you're gonna be telling people you're doing this, like tag the Instagram page, get people to follow it, because then they'll learn about it and they'll stay in the loop, as more things develop around in the area too. But I think the Instagram and the track leaders links are the ones that'll get people really engaged. So if that helps. I often put the track leaders map as a shortcut on my phone on the home screen just to reference it myself during the thing, but then you can quickly share it out as well. You can drop that in the chat too, maybe. Yeah, good
So there
question.
will be a lot of outdoor, organization things in the area too. The EMHR is hosting the Eastern PA Greenways and Trails Summit this coming week as well. So that ends the day before the race starts. So there's definitely going to be a lot of different, outdoor organizations, parks and trail committees, things like that in the Sayre area for that event. And we thought that would be a great way to kick this off. So we'll be letting everyone at that event know about it, which many of them already do. But yeah, the word is spreading pretty well.
Hey, are there any rules around riders helping riders during the event, or is all of that welcome? For example, if I see someone with a mechanical, can I stop and give them a hand, even though I'm not doing that for everybody?
So technically the rule would be that they can't accept it from you.
Okay.
Whether you want to try to help them, and that's up to you. If you're on a team, you can share resources, support, parts. If you're not racing, don't worry about it too. But that's the general rule for these sorts of things.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people are very, very disciplined about this, and others
Sure.
take it more
That's why
loosely.
I asked. Yep.
Yeah. What's that, Ramsey?
Dave and I on the team.
Ramsey is on a team, so he can share things with his team.
Okay.
Go ahead, James. You had something else, James? Maybe not. Okay.
So
that must have got kicked out. He's coming back in here.
Okay. Go ahead, James. Sorry, lost you. We can hear you now, I think. Maybe not.
I've got another question.
Sure.
And so I was riding the other day just thinking about the route again. Did you guys, I'm assuming you made the route in the shape of, it's supposed to be a shape of infinity symbol for Endless Mountains, or is that just coincidence?
Really coincidence. We just kind of chose what we, based on what our, avid cyclists who are working with us, routes they had already written, or, roads that they knew of that would give us that, 65% gravel and dirt roads. So yeah, it coincidentally worked out that way.
You have to rename the region to the Infinite Mountain.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. Good thought. Yeah. Anything else? Matt, did you have something else, or saw your face for a second? Or Chris? Justin? Okay.
I see Chris typed in the chat, for someone who signed up for the 430, how might they switch to the 250 while on the route?
Yeah.
Can't read the whole thing here. Hang on.
Unfortunately,
recovering from COVID and haven't tested the legs in case I or others have to bail on the big one. Well, sorry to hear about the COVID. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to switch to the 250 now, you certainly could. If you didn't think you could handle the 430, you guys will be going counterclockwise on the route, so you'll be doing the western portion of it first anyway. So, like I said, if you get into Sullivan County and feel you can only do the 250, I guess that's all right, David?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe text me and message me and let me know. But we can adjust your category too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we added the 250 for that option, to be honest. Um,
Okay. Matt says
it's
he's
split.
good and appreciates the intel. And Justin said, as a noob, what questions should I be asking? Well, there you go, Donna, Eric, and David. What should they be asking?
I'm not sure. I only ride supported rides usually. So this is way different for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing my backpacking stuff and throwing it on my bike for the most part. But as far as I know that was a super vague and generic question, but
Mhm. Yeah, my first thought would be just it's hilly, so pack light. You know,
mhm.
don't overdo the stuff you might need unless it's a critical safety item. But the hills aren't crazy high, but they do add up.
Mm.
Um, what is it? Eric was just to say the like death by 1,000 small climbs kind of thing. And,
Yeah, and
or how,
the slope climbs start looking a lot bigger about the 15th or 16th you get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and the first half of the route, it seems like the climbs are hard or higher, but fewer of them. And then the second half, they're more smaller ups and downs. But I believe the actual total climbing on each half of the route is almost exactly the same in terms of number of feet. It's just they either are short and small or a little bit higher. So, but yeah, keep it light. That'd be my biggest advice. And then the other classic words of wisdom is never quit in the evening. Sleep on it. If you're feeling really bad, don't give up at night. Take the night, rest up, wait till it's a new day, and then see how you're feeling.
Mhm. Yeah, make sure you're stretching and staying hydrated.
Do you guys have any go-to items at the Pump and Pantry and Dandy Marts for those of us that aren't familiar with them? You guys have any favorites, food and snacks that you go for there?
I do the wraps. A lot the pumpkin pantries and the acorns recently got bought and they're now all quick fills. So when you see a quick fill, that is what we've been talking about along. And they have a fairly good deli in these gas stations and typically have ready-made wraps in like a clamshell that are, turkey cheese or ham and cheese or whatever wrap. And that on bike routes, that's what I tend to go for personally, to get me through. And they're consistent and they're relatively fresh.
Mhm.
Awesome.
And I know I personally would like to really get your feedback so that we can, make sure this is better or what's good, what's bad. So I know that that's going to be part of this process, but I think it's important that we know so we can keep energized in this type of ride in our area. So if we really do want your feedback.
Yep.
Hey,
So
do you
yeah,
think
at our website, emheritage.org, on the EMGBL page, we do ask for input. So you can go right there, make comments, anything like that, make suggestions. We do want to make this route as, bicycle friendly as possible, obviously, and attracts, cyclists from across the community. So we would really genuinely like your feedback. Let us know how we can make that a better experience for everybody.
But we can't change the hills.
It is the endless mountains after all.
Matt says in the chat, my advice is to eat what looks appealing at the moment. Calories more important than quality.